Hello everybody and welcome. This is Adrian. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's going to be time for some Victoria 2 as the Confederate States of America in our Confederate States campaign. So we got out of a war and the damn British, they intervened in the damn peace deal and they took New England. So pissed me off, but whatever. Can't really do much. Utah integration, hell yeah. Cross of Gold. Ooh. 8th of October 1895, presidential candidate William Jennings Bryan to call for the minting of free silver, earning him nominations for the populist, Silver Republican, National Silver, and Progressive parties, and rallying Western and Southern farmers to a common cause for the first time since the class wars. His endorsement was viewed by many Northern industrialists as an attempt to sabotage creditors and break the trusts. You shall not crucify mankind on a cross of gold. That was one of the most important speeches in American political history. That speech and basically William Jennings Bryan changed the face of American politics forever. Everything that we have nowadays is because of him. Or at least his influence. His influence, per se. So, let's go on speed 5. It's 1895. We declare war on the Americans in 1899. We're going to get military tech in 1900, I believe. Hey, cool. Long live the Confederate States of America. We've integrated something. Cotton production, coal production. Do we actually produce that much cotton? Not really. Fuck you, Costa Rica. Who produces the world's cotton? Let's take a look. United Kingdom. Big surprise there. Yeah. So in the next war, we'll attack the Americans. They actually did lose quite a bit of population because New England has a pretty large population. So we'll attack them. The fact that we have slavery probably draws a lot of people away from us. The thing is I actually don't think it's ever going to be possible to allow slavery to get that gone. I don't think it is. I don't think we're actually allowed to mess with slavery anymore. Ever. Just never again. Yeah, it does not have country flag, the slavery debate. The thing is the slavery debate, you know, since we have it, like, I think we have it permanently. Yeah. I think, ooh, we have a Confederate recession. That's unfortunate. I don't think we're ever going to mess with slavery. I just don't think we can. I don't think it's possible. It's just not, the game's not going to let us. So, see, I got a question in Twitch chat. Why am I streaming so much earlier than I usually do? Today, I don't have any work today. I don't have any work. No part-time work. Hey, we found oil in Monterey. Yeah, I have a part-time job that I'm working during, well, technically it's a full-time job, but they've been cutting hours, so they give me the day off today because they don't need me at work. So I just do YouTube stuff. When I don't have to go there, I do YouTube stuff. Literally all my free time goes to YouTube. Every minute of it. I'm either recording or, you know, hey, we integrated Carson City. Cool. It's over here, right? It's in Nevada, isn't it? Yeah. Carson City, Nevada. Yeah. Every minute of my free time goes to YouTube. So until I can do this full time, well, you know, that's what I have to do is you go to work and you come home and all your free time goes to making videos and making sure the, you know, your graphics and your videos are scheduled, your thumbnails are done and all that. Philadelphia, Harrisburg. I wonder, 77 regiments, we have 57. So we barely have enough troops for the front row. But if we mobilize, then you would have plenty. Okay. Since organization, do we have a problem getting goods? I wonder. So I get a question to Twitch chat. Where do I work? I work at a cafe at my university. During the summer, they allow people to work full time, but during the school year, you can only work a certain amount of hours. However, ooh, lockout. Capitalists in one of our states have called a lockout following a period of intensifying labor conflicts in the region. Yes, we have trade, wars, production. You tell me about organized labor. Hey, that's unconstitutional. That's funny. Yeah, but like I said, I work full-time during the summer and then part-time during the school year. But if YouTube takes off, which I think it is, then we don't have to work part-time anymore. I can actually just probably do YouTube as a job. But I don't know. We're not there just yet. It takes time. Oklahoma City is oil. We're producing quite a bit of oil, aren't we? Who actually produces the world's oil? Well, we produce quite a bit. We produce fuel. Germany produces the most, though. What about raw materials, oil? United Kingdom, Netherlands, Romania, Confederate States. Big surprise there. In fact, we probably could build a few more oil refineries. Oh, we can get naval bases? Shit. I forgot about that. We gotta upgrade naval bases. Let's find out where we have oil. Perhaps we can build some fuel refineries. Probably would not be a bad idea. Oklahoma City. Sounds good. Use some coal. I'm actually really glad that we have coal. It's nice to have. I can encourage, in theory, I can encourage textile factories and stuff down here. What I need? Boots, shoe factory, luxury clothes, regular clothes, a wool mill, fabric factory. So if we have fabric, we can make clothes. Regular clothes. Now, I guess you can make regular clothes. You can't make much else. Charleston. Let's see, what do you need? Can I make you some dye? Yeah, I can make you some dye. Well, what is it that we import? That's a real question. Tea, sugar, and shoes. So we import shoes. So if I really wanted to be efficient and like protectionist, then we would want to make our own shoes. Question is how to do that. Let's take a look. What do the shoe factories need? One of the weird things about Victoria 2 is the way their economic system works is that basically, for the most part, your pops will always buy domestic goods rather than foreign goods. In the theory that, at least the way that Victoria 2 interprets it, is that domestic goods are always cheaper. It's not always entirely true in real life. Like, there's a lot of people during the 1800s that bought British shirts, British textiles and shirts and stuff and shoes because they were actually cheaper than what American manufacturers could do. And if it's good quality, you buy cheap. You buy what's the cheapest. So, which is always interesting. So if we make shoe factories and we start producing shoes, in the theory, according to Victoria 2's economic system, we should actually not import shoes anymore if we can make enough. Because our price would first, I guess, be cheaper than, you know, what other people can sell for. But second is that your population will always buy domestic goods produced first. Always. Let's take a look. Where do I have cows? Is this sugar? I have a sugar factory? Oh, we can make a sugar refinery. Yeah, we actually should do that too. Let's build a sugar refinery so that we're not importing as much sugar. So we need fruit and we make sugar. Beautiful. That's fucking awesome. We'll need to hire the workers, etc., but let's build one in San Francisco. Yeah, we just need to be, you know, let's be proactive about our industry. We should have done this probably a long time ago, but hey, I was busy. Where are cows, man? Do I produce cows here? Here we go. Damn it. See, this is why I wanted fucking Indiana. You bastard. I needed this territory. Alright, cattle. Give me some shoes, man. We need iron, too. Fine, I'll build you a bronze factory, I guess. I think we do produce bronze, too, domestically. Cattle... no shoes. I'll also build you. Oh no, that's it. Okay. Anything else we need? So we got plenty of sugar. Is that all the fruit? Can I build a sugar refineries anywhere else? Let's build one down here. Okay. Apparently we need forts. Let's actually double check just that I have level 4 forts everywhere. I think in some places I do, not all of them though. See, this is one thing about Victoria 2 is that the user interface is so dated, it's kind of hard to see where you have forts and all that stuff. So it gets kind of annoying to have to just take a look all the time. So tea, can we produce tea? I don't think so. You need, this is tobacco. You can't just produce tea. You actually have to have it from somewhere. You have to have tea leaves, right? Yeah, I don't produce it anywhere in the Western Hemisphere. Yeah, you can't get it from there. If we seized it from something. You know, I mean, I out of all the things that might be historical about this campaign, I would actually probably be willing to perhaps take Taiwan, maybe. They have tea. I would not mind Taiwan. They have tea. They produce quite a bit of it. The Qing Empire are not really powerful. I could probably easily just sail a fleet from the west coast over there. A better industrial tech. Let's go for social science, I suppose. Let's see, I got a question in Twitch chat. Where's Imperial Japan? Yeah, they're not here. No way, man. The Shogunate won the Civil War. Or the Boshin War, so we're not going to see none of them. Electrical lighting. Let's see here. I got a question in Twitch chat. Around what time would you consider the United States to became a world power? Depends on who you ask. I can tell you at the end of the Civil War, the United States had the most industrialized and mobilized army in the world. It scared even, like, the United Kingdom. It scared France. You know, they had a massive population at the time of the Civil War. I'll tell you by the 1870s, 1880s, United States industrial production surpassed that of the British. But at the same time, so did Germany. So I would say Britain and, yeah. Probably most of the world powers of the world by around the time of about 1880, 1890, consider the United States to be a pretty strong country. Not somebody you'd want to mess with, you know. Now, the Spanish-American War of 1898, where the United States took Cuba and the Philippines and Guam and a couple other islands out here. I think, yeah, this is Wake Island right here. There's, where's Guam? Somewhere over here. Some shit. That war was pretty decisive because that's also when the United States became a global power, where they had islands and possessions all over the place. During 1901 to 1909 was the presidency of Theodore Roosevelt, and he intervened quite a bit in South America. He overthrew governments here. He, you know, practiced gunboat diplomacy, and he kind of threatened military force if there were, you know, Latin American countries that would not bend to his will. And that was in 1901 to 1909, you know. But definitely at least by the 1880s, 1890s, probably for sure, if definitively by the 1890s, the United States had surpassed the United Kingdom in industrial power. That would have been when the United States was like a world power. Now, that doesn't mean a superpower. That wasn't the question. It was just a world power. Yeah, definitely the United States could do quite a bit about the 1890s, 1900s. But when the United States became a superpower would have probably been after World War II. After there is a question of World War One. I mean, we were pretty important in World War One. You know, I don't know. Wait, were we a superpower then? I don't know. Maybe. Let us conduct a census. Apparently, we can leave the Atlantic slave trade, which is kind of weird. Oh. Oh, look at that. That's how you do that. Okay. You can leave the Atlantic slave trade if there's at least 33% liberal in the upper house. You can actually, political reform selected, outlaw slavery. Oh, that's really fucking interesting, man. Interesting. Maybe we actually want to do that then. Maybe we want to do that. I don't know. Very curious. Let's see. Twitch chat says the military might of the United States started during World War II. No, that's not true. Hell no. Hell no. I'm telling you right now, World War I was won because of the United States Army. By what was it? The Americans joined in 1917, and by the spring offensives of Germany in 1918, they were battling American troops, usually either conscripted or volunteers, and they were coming into France at like what 10,000 a day, and Germany had drained their last reserves of manpower and industrial power. Yeah, the U.S. Army is what saved World War I for the Allies by far. Not to mention their industrial power, their industrial production. These guys were producing the bullets, the artillery, and the food of the world. You know, even though, yeah, the British Empire and France and all of them were powerful, you know, the Russian Empire as such as well was decently powerful. I mean, after 4 years of war, the United Kingdom, France, the Russian Empire, their industrial production, their manpower was drained. It was pushed to the limits. Their countries were at their breaking point, whereas the United States was untouched, you know. Let's see. Quick question from the Twitch chat. Most of my campaigns by around 1890. Most of my pops are socialist. Why is this all the time happening? Because socialism at that time was quite attractive, right? To peasants and workers and farmers and such. I mean, let's take a look right now at our population. We still have, in the year 1896, we have 34.9% farmers, 21.7% craftsmen, 14.7% laborers. We have fucking 11.5% of our adult male population as slaves, you know? Socialism was a very attractive thing during this time period. Nowadays, in the present day United States, this percentage of farmers as our quote workforce would be like less than 2%. You know? Craftsmen, laborers have also disappeared. There's no such thing, right? Factories, there are no more factories and such. But during this time, those things were very real. Factories, laborers, all sorts of stuff. So socialism as an ideology, you know, socialism as an idea was very, 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 very attractive to people. The idea of like working conditions, the idea of, you know, a maximum workday, benefits of some kind, very, very real. But there's two things, excuse me. There's two things that changed the idea of socialism as an acceptable ideology or something that should be really talked about. Was one, the Mexican Revolution of 1911. I think ended in, yeah, 1911 is when it began, or 1910 is when it began. It ended in 1917, I believe. So the Mexican Revolution was a revolution that it was all bad. You know, millions dead, socialism running rampant, and then like conservatives and reactionaries trying to overthrow each other, all sorts of shit. So that was one thing. But the second one, and the really big one, was the USSR, was the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917. That terrified the world. Terrified the world. And after that date, by far, after that date, socialism became discredited. Nobody wanted anything to do with it. They saw it as an authoritarian ideology. They saw it as, you know, a violent ideology, which to some extent, depending on where you were, it was. That's why there was never significant socialist movements in the United States. During the early 1900s, there was, like the election of 1912, there was a guy named Eugene V. Debs. He was a Socialist Party presidential candidate in the election in 1912, and he got so many votes that he actually took the election away from Theodore Roosevelt and William Howard Taft and gave it to Democrat Woodrow Wilson. That was one of the most pivotal elections in United States political history. And he was a socialist. He actually still to this day remains, I believe, a third party candidate that's received the most popular votes ever in history for the United States. You know? And yeah, I mean, honestly, socialism around the time of the Bolshevik Revolution was just permanently discredited. But during this time, from, you know, in Victoria II's time period, socialism was actually a very attractive ideology for a lot of people. It was actually like kind of a cool thing to be a part of, like a socialist league and stuff, like a workers' union, you know. I don't think I want any more pops. Let's take a look. Chef mining in Sonora. We have another election. Wow, the election of 1897. Historically, this election was won in 1897. The election was won by, if I remember correctly, William McKinley of the Republican Party. Ooh, state capitalism, yes. William McKinley of the Republican Party. Let's take a look. Voters, what would you guys like as far as your reforms? Good pensions? All right, I'll give you guys good pensions. Yeah, we'll see how this goes for state capitalism, please. I wonder what we can do about this. Ooh, we found oil in Tampico. Sweet. Jingoism, please. We'll go for full citizenship just to keep the socialists in power. What's the prediction for this election? I mean, I doubt the liberals will get in power. Liberal Party sucks. Protectionism, laissez-faire, pluralism, residency, anti-military, populists. Apparently the Democrats are anarcho-liberals. Rise of Revolution, the communists, social liberals. That's also kind of interesting, is there's a social liberal party in the United States. In the year 1897, there would have been none. The Populist Party and the Democrats, to some extent, were kind of social liberal, not really. Social liberal, like as a term, is much more like in Europe. Makes much more sense. The social liberalism, social democracy, things like that. The social democrats. Pro-military, jingoism. So I want this army tech. When do we get this? 1900? Okay, yeah, we're gonna need all the army tech we can get. Ooh. Secularized and atheism? Yeah, I'll go for atheism. Let's go for, what else can we grab? I wouldn't mind some more naval tech, but honestly, like, we're not really doing much for the Navy, so maybe we'll just leave it alone. Investment banks, tax efficiency, administrative efficiency. Factory cost would make it cheaper for our capitalists to open factories. Maybe we'll do that. Let's go to Chile. Enact women's suffrage? Yeah, sure. Restore the academia, Minoan excavations. Yas. And the cradle of civilization. Yas. Iraq grants access. National conference we do not need. If we can ever get 30% liberals in the upper house, we'll abolish the slave trade, I guess. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's possible. Long live the Confederate States. And there is no abolitionist movement, which is interesting. Can't do anything to that. Like, because you can have a socialist or like an abolitionist movement and you can suppress them and make them more radical. Yeah. So our manpower is coming back. We have quite a few troops that are on their way back to their regiments. Let's keep militarizing here. Let's just keep promoting soldiers. How many soldiers do we even have? Let's take a look. Holy shit, 4.2% of our population is soldiers. That's actually pretty impressive. It's actually pretty good. If I promoted liberals, we could probably get them into the upper house. There's only 17.21% liberals here. The conservatives are next, the Whigs. Interesting. Diplomatic points. Jefferson method. I don't think we want to push that through. First past the post is a little easier. I wouldn't mind proportional, I guess. Yeah, I guess we'll do it. Wow, it actually puts mostly conservatives in power. It's kind of curious, isn't it? Ooh. So if I held another election, the liberals or the conservatives would almost win. Actually, probably conservatives would win. Yeah. I don't know if I'm actually too against that. Let's see. Let's take a look. What are the Whig party policies? Protectionism, laissez-faire, pluralism, presidency or residency, pro-military. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not sure. $18.98. Let's go for that so we can get commerce level 4. Electrical lighting. Beautiful. Are we still importing tea? We're making boots. Sugar's gone down, though. Are we producing sugar again? Our factory's producing sugar. Let's take a look at our factories. These sugar refineries ever take off? I wonder. It's in Kansas, right? I guess they didn't really take off. Let's see. Darkspawn2206 is just subscribed on Twitch. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so we have a few craftsmen. Too much. How many soldiers do we have in the the Confederate States? We have 132,000 soldiers. Jesus. That's quite a bit. Can I expand any factories? They usually expand automatically, so I don't think I need to do it. But we'll take a quick look around. Anything that's like profitable. I don't usually like to expand my factories on my own, but we'll take a look. There's a lack of sulfur on the market. Plenty of coal. We have plenty of coal. Machine parts. Machine parts. Early small arms factory. Well, at least we do have a lot of factories. That's nice. Question is, how the hell? Holy shit. Holy shit, Confederate communists? Ooh. Curious. That is a lot of consciousness, isn't it? Alright, you fucks. Let's have some fun. Bring it on, commies. Let's do it. You guys are gonna rise up, then we're gonna just kick your ass. It's quite a bit of rebels. It's quite a bit of rebels. $18.98 right now. We should be going into the year 1899, and the real question is, can we beat the United States on our own? I don't know. I'm not actually too sure. They have quite a few more men than I do. I actually don't think it's possible. Maybe. Long live the Confederate States. Tractors. 'Tis beautiful. 'Tis beautiful. Okay, so we can add some people to our sphere. That's good. Egypt. Spain's still allied to the United Kingdom? Yeah. Damn it, man. I wish that was not the case. Hey, we just integrated Elko. Cool. Yankee Patriots, huh? Hope we don't take too much attrition here. 1898. Let's go for some iron steamers, I guess. That was like 1860s tech, so like we're researching it like 40 years late. I mean, then again, dude, we really have not done much with the Navy. We haven't really had a need for the Navy. We've needed to have troops for the Army. We're taking way too much attrition for this shit. God. We lost quite a few men battling the rebels. It's unfortunate. A lot of good men died. A lot of good Confederates. They died fighting for the flag. Proportional. We now have a proportional system. Infamy diplomatic points. Oh, an expert diplomat. Cool, man. That's gonna really come in handy for these guys, for the Americans. We can attack them. Okay, so in this next war, are we gonna need British support? I think we will. I just don't think I can beat the Americans on my own. Let's see. Mess1 Jr. in the Twitch chat says, thanks for the recent hosts, bro. Hope all is well. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, no worries. No worries. So, are we going to call in the British? Maybe. I think we do. I'm not sure if I could beat the Americans on my own. Are the British busy with something right now? No, they're at peace. Okay. These Americans, man, they got a lot of manpower. Shit. 5.62 million people. God, migration is just helping them a lot. In fact, I don't really want to do this, but I think I have to. Let us encourage liberal loyalty so that we can maybe abolish the slave trade. I don't think I have a choice anymore. Because this slave trade is keeping immigrants from coming to our country. And it's pretty bad. Probably should have done this some time ago. If we unlock this in the year 1900, which is in 8 months, we get gas attack, and gas attack is like really strong. It's like really strong. So we're going to save up some research points for that, I think. Gas attack. But I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break here, so I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much.